Good evening and welcome live to the campus of FGCU for Game 2 of today's doubleheader. Eagles looking to eliminate the Stetson Hatters in this one as Sarah Lawton makes the start for FGCU. Lawton did not play in game number 1, but in the circle against the Hatters in the nightcap. We'll get this one going just before 8 p.m., so it's a true night game from the campus of FGCU. Same starting lineup for both teams in game 2 as game 1. Both teams changing pitchers, but the starting 9 in terms of batting order is exactly the same. Brianna Clary leads it off, and the first pitch from Lawton is bunted back to the circle. She fields, goes to Hernandez, and the throw is on target for the out. So a quick out to retire Clary, and there's one down for Elizabeth Jackson. It'll be Clary, Jackson, and Riley Russell here in the first, 3 lefties, and then Schubert, Steininger, and Diaz 4 through 6. Marissa Baxter, the designated player, is in the 7th spot with Beaton and Gilman rounding it out for Stetson. Eagles won the first game of the doubleheader 5-2 as that one hits the outside corner, strike 1. Defensively for FGCU, the same 8 fielders as game 1. Batterton in left, Rowe in center field, and Callahan in right. 0-1 pitch is lined out to pretty deep left. Batterton was playing in, and she jumps to make the catch. Batterton goes back perfectly and hauls it in to retire Jackson. 2 quick outs for Lawton, and it brings up Riley Russell. Emily Estroff back at the hot corner with Reedy Davenport at shortstop. The second baseman is Hope Hernandez with Taylor Bauman at first base. Abby Thomas does the catching, working with Lawton. So Bauman, who's the other pitcher that they would have considered for this start, has just been red hot with the bat, so she's in there at first base as Russell takes a strike. Bauman was on base all 4 times in game 1. And so they go to Lawton, who of their 3 pitchers is the only pitcher only. She doesn't hit. The other 2 certainly do. 0-1 on Russell. The pitch. Sliced foul over the third base coaching box. Strike 2. First game was hotly contested early on. We had 15 runners stranded through the first 4.5 innings. And then finally FGCU breaking out for a 3 spot in the 5th inning. And then hanging on for a 5-2 win. The 0-2 is up and away, ball 1. Lawton has put together an excellent senior season. The transfer from Florida Southwestern Junior College, which is right down the road here in Fort Myers. 1-2 is up high for a ball. 16th start for Lawton, 7-6 with a 2.13 ERA, so not the best run support for her this year. As she has held the opponent to just a 2.24 average. Higher strikeout rate than Missy Moore, but still well under 1 K per inning. This one's chopped foul behind home, and they'll do it again. Daniel Papendick calls the balls and strikes in game 2 with the home plate umpire from the first game, John Schaefer, now over at first base. And the third base umpire again is Eric Salgado. A-Sun crew calling this 3-game series. 2-2 on Russell. Lawton's pitch. Down and in for ball 3. Temperature's getting a little more comfortable here in Fort Myers. 88 degrees the first pitch temperature in game 1. 82 degrees the first pitch temperature for game 2. That one misses away for ball 4, and it's a 2-out walk as Russell, who has been up to the plate 5 times, is yet to record an at-bat. That is her 4th walk of the doubleheader. So Schubert, the batter, their top hitter, drove in both runs in game 1, 2 for 4, the pitch. And it's fouled back as Russell was trying to steal. Russell and Jackson, both top 5 in the league in stolen bases in the 2 and 3 hole. So Stetson's got some speed. They've also got a quartet of 300 hitters at the top of the order. Oh, 1 pitch. It is flown high to center field. Rowe is there and under it, making the catch to end the inning. So Lawton puts up a 0 in the first, and FGCU comes to bat after this. You're watching Game 2 of the A-Sun quarterfinals. Bottom of the first here at FGCU. John Vitas bringing you the action live. This is the A-Sun Championships here from Fort Myers. Nene Rose set to lead it off against the left-hander Chloe Temples. Temples 5'7" from Mariana, Florida. Just a sophomore and a molecular biology major at Stetson. 700 strikeouts in her high school career at Mariana. A career record of 27-2. A district and regional champion. Lefty-lefty matchup against Rowe, who watches strike one at the top of the zone. Temples has been their workhorse this year, more innings than anybody else by over 40 frames. Temples is 4-13 with a 3.61 ERA. So like we said with Lawton, not much run support. You could say the same for Temples. This one's popped foul on the left side, strike 2. 83 strikeouts in 112 innings coming in. Her 18th start of the year, by far the most on the team. Her opponent average of 272 is 30 points lower than the Game 1 starter Jamie Tino, and Tino is their number 2 pitcher in terms of innings. So it'll likely be Temples for this entire game. They also have Lauren Hobbs available in relief. Here's the 0-2. Pulled towards first, Beaton has it and steps on the bag. Boy, Rowe always makes it close. It's 3 unassisted for the first out. And Batterton coming up against Temples. So it's Rowe, Batterton, and Davenport here in the first. Bauman, Meesemore, and Hernandez 4 through 6. And then Thomas, Estroff, and Callahan 7, 8, and 9 against the lefty Temples. Temples was outstanding as a freshman in 2020 before the COVID shutdown. This one's hit on the ground to second. Easy play for Gilman, and that's the second out. So 2 ground ball outs for Temples, and it brings up Davenport. Last year for the Hatters, Temples was 10-6 with a 1.94 ERA as a freshman. Top 25 in the country in wins before the shutdown. Davenport drilled a home run in Game 1. Hit a number of balls hard. The shortstop ready. And she takes an off-speed pitch on the outer half for strike 1. Temples has seen plenty of the Eagles lineup this year. In the first series, she pitched 12 2/3 innings in one series in this circle. This one is lifted out to deep center, but Russell is there, camps under it, and makes the catch to end the inning. Both pitchers work scoreless first. We head to the second. You're watching the A-Sun Championship. Steininger, Diaz, and Baxter for the Hatters here in the second inning. Both pitchers working hitless frames as that one's fouled off on the right side. Lawton did walk Russell, but the only base runner we've seen so far. It was just a 6-pitch bottom of the first for Temples, who did not pitch last week in the series against FGCU. The 0-1. This one is hit deep to left center, but playable for Rowe, who glides into the gap and makes the grab with 2 hands for the first out. So Diaz's turn with the bases empty. That's an interesting wrinkle to this matchup that Temples did not pitch all of last weekend, even though these teams played 3 games against each other. So they haven't seen her since early in the season. I believe that was the 3rd weekend of the year for this softball team for FGCU back in March. And so it's been a while since they've seen Temples. But when they did see her, they saw her a lot. Like we said in the last inning, 12 2/3 innings in that series. Swing and a miss there from Diaz. And Temples also potentially battling an injury, which is why she didn't pitch last weekend. So we'll see how this one plays out. That one's fouled back, strike 2. And she obviously looked fresh there in the first. We'll see how she holds up. And obviously Stetson needs her to put forth an outstanding performance to keep their season alive tonight against the first place Eagles. Here's the 0-2, and well high for a ball. Both dugouts pretty fired up for game 2. Lawton's pitch. High, ball 2. That one not close either. The 2-2. Chopped foul. Getting a piece was Diaz as she reached across the zone. Lawton a 2.16 ERA last year, so her career Division I ERA is right around 2. Eagles guarding the lines here with 1 out. The pitch, swing and a miss. Lawton goes up the ladder to strike out Diaz. First strikeout of the night. And Baxter comes to the plate with nobody on.
Hatters designated player number 18, Marissa Baxter.
Baxter, a right-hand hitter out of Grand Ridge, Florida. First pitch is low for a ball. If FGCU can win this one, they would advance to the 4-team double elimination ASUN final next weekend at Kennesaw State. And that could potentially be their opponent if the bracket holds. There's a liner to third, snared by Estroff, and the inning comes to an end. 2 hitless frames for Lawton. Eagles come to bat after this. Taylor Bauman to lead it off for FGCU here in the home second. Chloe Temples back to the circle. Needed just 6 pitches to get through the first. The lefty delivers, and it's low for ball 1. Bauman was on base 4 times in game 1. 2 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. The 1-0 pitch is pulled towards shortstop, backhanded by Schubert. The throw is in time, 1 away. So 4 up, 4 down so far for Temples. And it brings up Missy Moore. Missy Moore and Bauman provide the power for FGCU. The 2 pitchers have hit 8 home runs this year, the 2 highest totals on the team. Temples fires, and it's on the corner for a strike. Well, Kennesaw State has swept North Alabama today by scores of 2-1 and 9-1. So the 3 seed in the North has been eliminated. The 0-1 is not going to count. A softball came flying in from the first base side, so the play was blown dead before that pitch was delivered. Not sure if that was coming from the bullpen, the batting cage, or the dugout, but it was rolling towards the first base bag when that pitch was delivered. Meanwhile, in the other series in the ASUN South, North Florida and Jacksonville have split the first 2 games. Jacksonville won the first game 2-0, and then North Florida came back for a 5-2 win in game 2, so they'll play game 3 tomorrow. Here's the 0-1, and it's down and away to even up the count. Liberty and Lipscomb still playing in game 2 of their series. After Liberty won the first game 1-0. That one's down and away, ball 2. A lot more runs in game 2 right now. It's 9-5 Liberty just tied it. It was 7-5 Lipscomb, and Liberty got a 2-out, bases-loaded single to extend the game. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Soft off-speed pitch comes down and in for strike 2 to even it up with Missy Moore. That just happened a few minutes ago, so potentially extra innings in Lynchburg as the Flames look to end things tonight and finish up the divisional series in the North. Temple set. The 2-2 on the way. Chopped foul up the third base side. Coach DeRose with a bobble. He is a showman. He loves the attention and gets plenty of jeers from the crowd after that one. And it's still 2-2 on Marissa. So the bracket is starting to be filled out. The double headers to start really help. We've got 1 sweep and 1 split so far today. Here's the 2-2. Just missed, down and away, and now it's a full count. Stetson, by the way, is the last team to qualify. The only team with a worse record than them in conference play was Bellarmine. They didn't make the field of 8, and so Stetson got that last spot. FGCU, the 1 seed in the South, with a 15-3 regular season conference record. Here's the payoff pitch. Low ball 4, and Missy Moore draws the walk. Great at-bat there from Marissa to get on, and it brings up Hope Hernandez. Hernandez zeroed in on Temples. And that one sinks low for ball one. So if just one of these two series still in progress split, either us or the Liberty series, we will still not know the bracket going into tomorrow. There'll be no matchup set. But if both end in sweeps, then we'll be pretty certain as to how it's going to go. The 1-0 is outside ball two. We got at least one game tomorrow in the A-Sun. North Florida and Jacksonville will play a winner-take-all game. Couple of teams that these two squads are familiar with. But it'll be nice to see some crossover action next weekend. 2-0 pitch at the top of the zone, called a strike. All of the games next weekend will be on ESPN+. If the Eagles win tonight, they will play at 5:30 p.m. on May 13th, which is Thursday night. This tournament runs Thursday through Saturday. Two-one pitch in the dirt. Good block by Steininger to move to her right. And now Hernandez well ahead in the count. You got to wonder, and we haven't been able to confirm it with the stoppage, you got to wonder if Temples does have an injury and whether she's fighting through it here. Obviously a very successful pitcher and seems to be fighting herself just a little bit in terms of body language in the second after she worked a smooth first. There's a 3-1, and it's drilled to the gap in left center, but a running grab is made by Russell. Missy Moore slipped, and the throw is not in time. It gets away, but stays in play. So Missy Moore safe at first and will not advance as the ball did not get out of play. As she turned to head back to first, she slipped just a little bit, and that gave Stetson the opportunity to try and double her up. But the inning does continue. Hernandez hit that ball well, but Russell, we've seen all series long, can fly in center field. And so it's all left to Abby Thomas now.
Abby Thomas.
First pitch to Thomas is high, ball one. By the way, that Liberty team that almost lost to Lipscomb in 7 innings tonight, and we'll see, they could still lose. They're going to extras, it looks like. They had the best overall record in the league at 37-12. That one's inside for ball two. And then after that, FGCU had the next best overall record in the league at 26, or now 27-17. And it really does look like Temples is awfully uncomfortable out in the circle. She's stretching out her back and her left hip, and she's got a brace on the left knee. That one's foul tipped off the glove. Actually, maybe not, just a ball that got away from the catcher, and Missy Moore will go to second. So it's a swing and a miss, not a foul tip. And Missy Moore goes to second on a pass ball. No argument from the Stetson side. Swing and a miss on a high fastball there, 2-2. Well, they've just gone final in Lynchburg, and Lipscomb gets the win, which is the first upset of the tournament. In extra innings, 8-7. So that means Liberty and Lipscomb will have to play game 3 tomorrow in Lynchburg. Here's the 2-2, and it's a jam shot looper to first, charging in to make the catch is beaten, and the inning comes to an end. Temples had to work a lot harder in the second, but she puts up another 0. We head to the third, no score here at FGCU. Top of the third here in game number 2. Sarah Lawton back to the circle for FGCU.
Number 16, Catherine.
Facing Catherine Beaton, who made the final put out of the second. There is no more daylight here in Fort Myers. A true night game now as that one misses up and away for ball 1. Game 1 started at 5 o'clock, ended a little bit after 7. And game 2 started a little before 8. There's strike 1. Gilman next, then Clary. A couple of lefties after Beaton. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. And a swing and a miss on a pitch away, 2-2. That Lipscomb Liberty result is pretty significant, especially if Lipscomb can pull another upset tomorrow and eliminate the top team in the league. That would put FGCU as the favorite to go to the NCAA tournament next weekend if somehow Liberty would get eliminated, as Lawton blows it by Beaton for the first out. Second strikeout for Sarah Lawton. And now Gilman comes to the plate.
Playing second base, number 12, Alyssa Gilman.
The other team that I would say would be pretty dangerous next weekend would be Jacksonville, and that's because they have the best pitcher in the league. And they do have a winning record overall, which most teams don't in this league. That one's fouled off, strike 1. There are 4 teams in the league with a winning record out of 9, and one of them, North Alabama, has already been eliminated by Kennesaw State. So there's only 3 teams left with a winning record: Liberty, FGCU, and Jacksonville. Here's the 0-1. Bunted, left side, strike 2. So I would assume, and I don't think they have a strong preference, but I would assume that FGCU will be rooting against Liberty and Jacksonville tomorrow and rooting for North Florida and Lipscomb. Whatever you can do to make your path to the promised land a little easier, you'll take it. Eagles trying to get to their first NCAA tournament since 2012, but before they have a chance to get there, they have to take care of Stetson. And right now we're scoreless in game 2. Here's the 0-2. Reached for and barely got a piece. Gilman picked it right out of the mid of Thomas to stay alive. Lawton fires. Outside, good take by Gilman. Lawton's been efficient, only 30 pitches so far as we play here in the third. This one's chopped foul behind home, and they'll do it again on 1 and 2. Estroff continues to play way in at third. Bauman in at first as well against the slap hitter Gilman. 1-2. Lifted foul, hooking out of play on the left field side. Lawton delivers. This one's hit right back to her, bobbles it, recovers, and the throw is just in time to get the speedy Gilman 2 down. So 1 full trip through the order now for Lawton. Has only allowed 1 base runner. That was a walk in the first inning.
The leadoff hitter and right fielder, Brianna Clary.
Lawton grabs some dirt. She is completely fresh for this outing, did not play at all in game one. First pitch. Lashed foul on the ground by Clary. This game's got a different feel than the first game, even though both games started 0-0 through 2. In game one, they were working deep counts, loading up the bases, all kinds of pressure on the defense. This one so far has been a pitcher's duel. 0-1 pitch to Clary. Foul back, strike 2. Stetson has 3 seniors in their starting lineup, hoping that this is not their final game. They do have some underclassmen in there, though. Clary is one of them, and she swings through a fastball. Good pitch by Sarah Lawton, who strikes out 2 in the inning and has 3 strikeouts through 3 scoreless innings. Eagles try and break the stalemate after this. You're watching A-Sun Softball. Eight, 9, and 1 for the Eagles in a scoreless game. Lawton and Temples doing battle in this one. Temples facing the lefty Estroff to start the inning. Here's the pitch. That one is on the corner for strike 1. FGCU has not had to use their top pitcher in terms of ERA yet. Taylor Bauman is waiting in the wings with an ERA in the 1s this season. Right now playing first base. Here's the 0-1. Up and away for a ball. Of course, you've got Temples going here, their number 1 pitcher, but you already used the number 2 pitcher for a complete game in game 1. Of course, it's softball, so she could come back and pitch here, but over 130 pitches in that first game. Here's the 1-1 to Estroff. That one's high for ball 2, and that's why on paper the Eagles are heavy favorites coming into this series. The pitching numbers are much different when you look at these two teams, but the offensive numbers are pretty similar. Stetson actually does swing it pretty well, especially their top 4 hitters in the order, as Temples takes a moment to tie her right shoe. Again, first outing in a couple of weeks for Temples. This is her first outing in the month of May. Ready now, 2-1. The pitch. And she went around 2-2. Estroff tried to pull it back. Eagles bench didn't like that call. And the count goes even. Two coming. Pulled the bat back. They appeal and say no swing. And so now it's full. Full count to the third baseman. Temples ready to go. 3-2. Slashed foul on the left side. Estroff out in front, but gets a piece. FGCU has won all 7 meetings now between these teams. Stetson has had some close games and came up short in this season series. Payoff. Chop towards shortstop. Fielding it, Schubert, and the throw is in time. Estroff got down the line quickly, but Schubert got it there by half a step. And so still these two teams both hitless here in the bottom of the third. The batter is Farley Callahan. So in a battle of the knee braces here, Callahan faces Temples. Temples has that weird pre-pitch routine of reaching back and then firing the ball into her mitt before she comes set. Here's the first pitch. Inside for ball 1. She is a molecular biology major after all. A very systematic approach to her throwing motion. Here's the 1-0. Popped up behind home. Room though for Steininger, and couldn't get there, couldn't find it in time as it lands in play. Strike 1. The lefty ready. 1-1 to Callahan. Down and away for ball 2. Stetson ace ready. Foul tip as Callahan lines it back to the padding. 2-2. Callahan, one of the FGCU seniors that graduated on this field 2 weekends ago. Graduation here at FGCU was last weekend, and the Eagles were in DeLand to play this Stetson team. 2-2 is popped up foul. That's going to get out of play, and it'll remain 2-2. That was a really neat opportunity for these players. Of course, went through 4 years here, went through a pandemic, and Coach DeRose was quick to point out at that ceremony that for the seniors, their freshman year here was when Hurricane Irma hit. And so within their first few years of college, they were displaced. The campus was shut down for a few weeks because of all the damage from that hurricane. Here's the 2-2. Reached for, off the glove of Temples. Could be trouble, and there'll be no play. Gilman didn't have time. It's an infield hit for Farley Callahan. First hit of the day belongs to the Eagles right fielder. And then go to the top of the order now for Rowe. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner for Callahan. Hannah Szymanski to head out there, number 5. So Szymanski at first with 1 out.
First base, number 5, Hannah Szymanski.
But think about that, what these seniors have gone through as Coach Griffin goes to the circle. Of course, Fort Myers was hit with that hurricane pretty much straight on. It was a high Category 2 when it came through here, and the campus took quite a bit of damage, and I believe it was about 3 weeks that things were completely shut down, and they had to kind of rebuild a little bit. There was some flooding on some of the on-campus housing and off-campus housing, so it was quite a process that first fall semester for these seniors. And then, of course, the last 3 semesters of their college careers, they deal with a pandemic and playing through that. So Coach DeRose was quick to point out that no senior class has gone through as much as this one has. There are a couple transfers in there, so not all of the 8 seniors were here for all 4 years, but most of them were. And it's quite an accomplished senior class. 3 of the 8 seniors are the pitchers. And then you got Hope Hernandez, who transferred in, Callahan, who just singled, Haley Morrell, Maddie Johnson. As Rowe, the sophomore, is ready. Left on left. Infield in. First pitch from Temples. Down and in, ball 1. What an odd defensive alignment, but it has worked today for Stetson. The third baseman and second baseman as far in as you can possibly be. And then the shortstop and the first baseman are back. Again, it's like a football formation. Got 2 receivers on the line and 2 of them offset. Here's the 1-0. Chop towards third, handled by Diaz, goes to first with it, and because she was so far in, had plenty of time to make the play. So Rowe advances Szymanski to second, but there's 2 outs now for Batterton. But just to wrap up that piece on the Eagle seniors, after they had a come-from-behind win 2 Sundays ago, they all graduated on the field. They had President Martin come out, give the speech. They wore their graduation robes over their jerseys and uniforms, and they had their parents come out on the field with them. They had little socially distant pods out on the infield with chairs, and then they each got to come to the pitcher's circle and give a speech. Left on left here for McKenna Batterton. Pitch home is down and in, hit her in the foot. So Batterton is plunked with the pitch, and now there's 2 on for Davenport. But for a lot of college students, graduation is not always the most memorable ceremony. Sometimes it's more of a snore fest. But I think that's a graduation that, even though there was maybe 100 people here for it, is one that they'll remember because they got to do it alongside the 7 women they grew the closest with here in their 4 years. And there was plenty of family here. And so it was a more intimate ceremony, as that one is in for a strike. I mean, could it be more appropriate to graduate on the field in which you spent all of your time for 4 years? A 1 pitch from Temples. Lined over short, a base hit into left field. They're going to send Szymanski. Here's the throw from Jackson, and Szymanski went back to third. The throw goes into second. Now we've got chaos. A rundown, and they are going to throw it home now, and now both runners are stuck at third. And now what's going to happen? Steininger's going to let everybody go back, and the inning's going to continue. It's a single to load the bases for Davenport. No out recorded, so the official scorer can breathe a sigh of relief. Bauman the batter, 2 outs, and the base is loaded. I thought Szymanski was going to score if she had kept going. Jackson made a pretty good throw, but Szymanski can fly, and they decided to hold her at the last second. And I think a pretty good job there between Batterton and Szymanski to kind of deke out the catcher. Here's the pitch to Bauman. Up and away, ball 1. So Davenport continues to rake here in this postseason series. 3 for 6 officially, but even her outs have been loud. "1-0 from Temples. Low for a ball. FGCU this season actually has 6 starting hitters with a batting average of 500 or better against the Hatters. That's a 6-game span entering today. And Davenport is one of them, and she continues to hit 500 against Stetson. That one's low for ball 3. Gilman now comes in to try and settle down Temples, who has to throw a strike or the Eagles will take the lead. Steininger back out there as well. We're ready. Temples has to throw a strike, and she does. Bauman taking all the way, 3-1. And now can tee off for something she likes. Bauman, a 304 hitter entering this game. Team high 5 home runs. The pitch. Lifted out towards left center. Russell has room. She's there and makes the catch to keep us tied. Eagles with a couple of hits. They strand 3, but still no score as we head to the 4th in Game 2 of the Division Series. Like they did in Game 1, Stetson hanging in there, able to strand 3 Eagles and keep us scoreless as we start the 4th. Jackson takes high for ball 1 from Sarah Lawton. Remember, we were tied until the bottom of the 5th in Game 1 when the Eagles struck for 3. And still tied in Game 2 into the 4th. Lawton fires. Low, ball 2. So second time through the order, both teams are putting together better at-bats. Righty deals. Well high, ball 3. Thomas couldn't glove it. You got Russell and then Schubert in the 4th. Dangerous trio for Stetson. Fastball down the pipe. There's a strike. This one rolled towards short. Davenport charges, breaks down, fires, got her. Well done by Reedy Davenport to record the first out of the 4th. 40 pitches now for Lawton with Russell coming up. First pitch from Sarah. Low to Russell. She has been a major factor in the outfield. Has taken away a few hits from FGCU today. Balls that probably would have been doubles. 1-0 from Sarah. A bunt attempt called a strike on the outside corner. This is Lawton's 4th start this year against Stetson. She has pitched against the Hatters more than anybody else. Coming into this game, a 2.67 ERA, and she's held them to a 194 batting average. So the numbers are even better against Stetson than they are for the season for Lawton, who misses up and away there 2-1. This one's chopped foul behind home. 2-2. A lot of these lefties for Stetson like to run up there and slap at it. Saw Gilman do it a lot earlier. Russell here in the 3 holes, a slap hitter as well. That one's low, and now it's a full count. Lawton needed only 22 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. Has had to work harder in the 3rd and 4th. Payoff on the way. Rolled to short. Davenport fields, fires over to first just in time. Couple of very quick runners, and Davenport able to gun down both of them. So it's left to Schubert here in the 4th, who we know has plenty of power.
Number 23, the shortstop, Lizzie Schubert.
First pitch, swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch from Lawton, and Schubert way out in front, ready to rip on the first pitch. Check swing roller up the first base side. Lawton gets the sign, checks the wristband, and fires on 0-2. Fouled back. Good cut by Schubert on a pitch up and in. Another 0-2 to the Stetson cleanup hitter, and it's high for ball 1. Lawton, originally from Waterbury, Connecticut, came down to Fort Myers to play junior college softball and fell in love. She has stayed here in the city of Palms, now at the Division I school in town. 1-2. Swing and a miss. High heat from Sarah Lawton, who has struck out a batter in each of the last 3 innings. Halfway home in game 2, we are scoreless at FGCU. 5, 6, and 7 for FGCU. Marissa Meesey-Moore against Chloe Temples. Meesey-Moore walked her first time up. Temples delivers. Foul back, 0-1. We've seen only 2 hits in this game, and both belong to FGCU. Both came in the 3rd inning before the Eagles left the bases loaded. Bauman flew out with all 3 bases occupied. FGCU can end this series tonight with a win and advance to the Final Four in the A-Sun. Stetson trying to force a rubber game tomorrow. A 1 pitch. At the knees, a called strike 2. Hernandez due up next, and then Thomas here in the home 4th. Temples up to 50 pitches. 0-2 on the way. Chased it in the dirt, and the tag is applied by Steininger. That is the first strikeout today for Temples, who will get some. And Hernandez comes to the plate. Eagles struck out just 1 time in game 1 today, so that's just their 2nd strikeout in 11 innings today. Hernandez lined out to center in the 4th. That was the good play by Russell to save a run. First pitch to Hope. Chopped up the middle off the glove of Temples, and she will reach. No chance for Diaz, who recovered it, as Temples could not snare it on a bounce. Hernandez has a base hit. Thomas coming up with 1 on and 1 out.
The catcher, number 25, Abby Thomas.
First pitch to Thomas is popped up shallow center. Going out is Schubert, and she makes the catch for out number 2. Schubert got there in a hurry because Russell was playing pretty deep there, and so it's left to Estroff in the 4th.
Playing third base, number 22, Emily Estroff.
Left on left, first pitch to Emily. Low, ball 1. The breeze has died down here in Fort Myers. It was blowing from left to right in game 1. We've got virtually no breeze right now, but more so blowing straight in at the moment. Temples fires, chopped left side, going to be a tough play. Schubert's throw is high, threw it away. Over to third goes Hernandez, and she's going to hold there. 2nd and 3rd for FGCU. Infield single and then a throwing error on Schubert. Ill-advised effort there. Was not going to get Estroff, who runs well.
So that's a base hit for us and then an error for Stetson. Got it.
And Callahan is going to be pinch hit for here. In a huge spot now. A base hit could make it 2-0. And Haley Morrell will be summoned for the 2nd straight game.
Yes, that's correct.
We mentioned it in game 1, but the Eagles have 17 position players with at least 20 at-bats this year. Coach DeRose not shy to make changes throughout the game and use several bench players, and Morrell is one of his secret weapons as a hitter. Morrell was one of the seniors. Came in hitting .366 today. 14 RBIs and only 41 at-bats. And had an appearance in game 1 as well. So Morrell will hit for Callahan and try and give FGCU the lead they've been looking for. They've stranded 4 runners in the first 3 innings, and they don't want to strand 2 more. Morrell has made 11 starts this year, but this is her 22nd time off the bench. Senior from Tampa looking in at Temples. First pitch. At the very bottom of the zone, Morrell was ready to pull the trigger and then saw it sink low. Let it go by 0-1. The pitch. Line towards left, and reaching up to glove it is Jackson. Good read by Jackson on a searing line drive to left, but Morrell is retired to end the inning. Stetson gets out of it. Eagles have stranded 6 runners through 4 innings. On to the 5th, still scoreless here in game 2. Stetson trying to stun the Eagles. No score as we start the 5th. Sarah Lawton back to work, and the first pitch dives away for ball 1. It'll be Steininger, Diaz, and Baxter, righty, lefty, righty here in the 5th. We are the final game going in the A-Sun tournament tonight. The other 3 series have come to a conclusion, and 2 of the 3 have been splits. That one is low for ball 2, so we'll see at least 2 games tomorrow. North Florida and Jacksonville in the south bracket, and then Liberty and Lipscomb in the north. The only team to advance so far, Kennesaw State. And if the seeds hold, that would be the Eagles' opponent next week. This one's rolled to the right side. Hernandez flips, and Bauman plucks it out of the air for out number 1. Oh, Bauman got caught in between whether to go for that ball or not. Made the right decision to backpedal to first, because it would have been a much tougher play for Lawton to cover first. Hernandez, who's got great range at second, was able to come in quickly and get it there. So 4-3 on the putout, retiring Steininger. And now Diaz the batter with 1 out and nobody on. This one lofted deep down the left field line and hooking out of play. Strike one. Lawton deals, and it's fouled back to the netting. Strike two. Well, she just continues to pound the strike zone. Only one walk so far for Lawton, the only base runner against her. And other than that walk, she has only had one 3-ball count. And ahead 0-2 on Diaz. Same spot there on that foul ball, out of play. FGCU has not scored more than 7 runs in any game against Stetson this year, and they've met 7 times. That one's high. They've only shut out the Hatters once. And in the series last weekend, 2 of the 3 games were decided by 1 run. So even though the Eagles are 7-0, it hasn't been that lopsided. That one's upstairs for ball 2. The pitch, high, 3-2. So Diaz has worked it full after falling behind 0-2. Baxter due up next. No score in the 5th. On the inside corner, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 5 for Sarah Lawton. And there's 2 down in the inning.
The designated player, number 18, Marissa Baxter.
Baxter, the batter, lined out to Estroff to end the 2nd. First pitch, upstairs for ball 1. Eagles will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 5th. They can't wait to get back to the dugout. 1-0. At the knees to get even. Lawton's next pitch. On the outside corner, strike 2. Getting better as she goes along tonight. Baxter just trying to keep the inning going for Stetson. Lawton winds the pitch. Swing and a miss, she caught her. Lawton goes up the ladder and strikes out 2 in a perfect 5th. We've got 4 hits on the board and all of them belong to FGCU. They'll try and take the lead when we return. You're watching the A-Sun Division Series. top of the order for the Founding Fathers team. David D. Rose has been here since the birth of FGCU softball, when they were merely a Division II institution. Chloe Temples back to the circle, dealing with Nene Rowe. And she swats one foul for strike one. Batterton and Davenport to follow, two lefties and a righty in this scoreless game, bottom five. Eagles have stranded 6 runners in this game, all of them in the last 3 innings. The pitch, fouled off again, 0-2. Batterton eyeing Temples as well. They have seen her a couple of times already, hoping that the third time through the order is the charm. Stetson in their 4-receiver set as Temples gets ready to issue an 0-2. Popped up, shallow left, angling in Jackson, and she makes the catch. Stetson's outfield has kept them in this game. They have been flying all over the field. And Jackson makes the play there with Batterton striding to the plate.
Number 88, the left fielder, McKenna Batterton.
Another lefty-lefty matchup. Temples catches the inside edge there, 0-1. John Vitas, happy to have you along here on the campus of FGCU. We've got ourselves a pitcher's duel between Chloe Temples and Sarah Lawton. And it shouldn't come as a surprise. These two have been excellent all year. The 0-1 is up high. Interesting to see that both coaches went with the pitcher with the better ERA in Game 2 than Game 1. And they are living up to those numbers so far. Here's the pitch from Chloe. Swing and a miss. Batterton late on that pitch. Strike 2. The scorching hot Reedy Davenport is on deck. Eagles trying to get something going here in the 5th. And Batterton able to get a piece there on the off-speed pitch away. The pitch up high, good take by Batterton. And it's 2-2. Same spot there from Temples as the previous pitch when McKenna fouled it back. Able to lay off that one and draw it even. The 2-2 pitch. Reached for and fouled off on the right side. Batterton way out in front, but able to get a piece. Showing you why she only has 8 strikeouts in 33 games this year. Temples' pitch, fouled back once more. It was right on that pitch, and we'll see at least 8 pitches here in this at-bat. This was the inning in Game 1 where the Eagles decided things. One of the Stetson assistants has come out to speak to the home plate umpire, and they're going to run something out to Temples. I'm not sure what it is, but we're looking at her, I think her right wrist, so maybe some sort of wristband. Maybe some fingernail maintenance, it looks like, because they're waiting for something to dry now. Now, had this been a knuckleball pitcher in baseball, I don't know if this would be allowed. So they rely on that to succeed, and you will see some delays in baseball, too, for fingernail issues. Well, the pitchers really need it. We mentioned it earlier in the game that Temples seemed to be nursing something in terms of physical ailment earlier, but now it's a fingernail issue as she has really settled in. So a little break there for both Batterton and Temples, who have been locked in a 7-pitch duel. This will be the 4th 2-2 pitch of the at-bat. And she got her. Temples comes up and in. Batterton couldn't find it. And it's the 2nd strikeout for Chloe Temples. So Davenport bats with 2 outs and nobody on. Davenport homered in game 1. Her 2nd of the year. The pitch. Fouled back. Right on that one. 0-1. Another visit by Steininger. The 0-1. Line deep to right. Going back is Clary, and she has room to bring it in. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 5th for Chloe Temples. We're through 5, still no score as Lawton heads back to the circle to continue to craft her masterpiece after this. Stetson searching for offense will turn to number 1, Nia Morgan. Morgan pinch hit in game 1 and will pinch hit here in game 2 for Catherine Beaton, the first baseman. Sarah Lawton back to the circle in her first pitch. Is lined to third but gloved by Estroff. So Morgan squares it up, but Estroff able to make the catch. And there's quickly 1 away here in the 6th inning. So now Gilman Lawton 1 over the minimum so far, has issued 1 walk. And now facing Gilman for the second time, who foul tips it off the glove of the catcher. Sarah's also had 6 strikeouts, which was the same total that Misi Moore had in game 1. And so for the Eagle staff, which as a whole does not strike out many, they have had their fair share tonight. The 0-1. Line towards the middle, that's a base hit. And the no-hitter comes to an end for Sarah Lawton with 1 out in the 6th inning. And now Lawton, who just lost that bid, has to refocus because this game is tied. And the potential go-ahead run is on base for Stetson. That one's fouled off. That would have, she was bidding for the 6th no-hitter in FGCU history. They've had 5, including 1 earlier this year against Florida A&M. But that was only a 5-inning no-hitter. They had one in 2019 as well, but before that it had been over 10 years. That's a fair ball. The throw to first is on target. Well done by Abby Thomas to not hesitate and make that play. So Clary is retired. I believe that's just a ground out. No sacrifice there as Gilman goes to second. So the go-ahead run in scoring position, but 2 outs for Jackson.
The left fielder, number 2, Elizabeth Jackson.
So big battle here. Jackson with a line out and a ground out, and a strike is taken on the outside corner. That one dives away, and the count evens up. Jackson, a .349 hitter. You got to be careful with her. First base is open, but you've got a .330 hitter on deck in Russell. 1-1. Up and away, ball 2. Swing and a miss. Good pitch away by Sarah. And now it's 2-2 on Elizabeth Jackson. Stetson trying to break through here in the top of the 6th. The pitch. Fouled back. That was very high, and Jackson tried to square it up and did get a piece. I guess that's the benefit of the slap attempt, is you're running so far forward that you're getting that ball at a lower spot than if you had waited. Lawton's 2-2. Line deep towards left, but out of play. Alyssa Gilman waiting at second base for the opportunity to run. She'll be off on contact. The pitch. Chop back to the mound. Lawton has it. The throw is on target, and the inning is over. Sarah Lawton through 6 scoreless innings as the Eagles look to take the lead when we come back. Middle third of David DeRosa's order coming up against Chloe Temples. You can see as she heads back to the circle, she is really hobbling. So gutting out this effort, and while not 100%, she has put up 5 zeros against the first place team in the division. So it's Bauman, Misimore, Hernandez, 3 powerful hitters against the lefty Temples in a scoreless game. First pitch. Flown foul off the right side, strike 1. And I would wonder, I don't think they'll have to do this, but if Bauman is retired here, if she goes out to start warming up to pitch, just in case. A very accomplished pitcher, mostly out of the bullpen for the Eagles. Lawton's been great, but you never know when you might need her. Here's the 0-1. Down and away, 1-1 now. And now a visit to the circle. Steininger going back out there. Temples has battled a nail issue. Clearly has a left knee issue. She's had to stretch out her back a few times. She's just gutting out a postseason effort here. Bauman looking at her, 1-1. That one drops in for strike 2. Good pitch. And Temple's ahead. One, two coming. Well high. Now it's even. Bauman was the offensive star in the first game, but 0 for 2 so far in this one. FGCU trying to reach that Final Four. 2-2 pitch. Lined up the middle, a base hit for Bauman. Able to sit back on the off-speed pitch and stroke it up the middle. Base hit number 5 for FGCU. We'll get a runner here for Bauman. With Misimore coming up, and then Hernandez. Maddie Johnson will be the runner for Bauman. We've seen a lot of Johnson at third base this year. She's made 29 starts for FGCU. And she comes in off the bench here to run, and she is the potential go-ahead run. Steininger just wearing out the path to the circle. And I think the home plate umpire is going to say enough is enough. You can't go out there after every batter. Steininger seems very informed on what's going on and keeps checking Temples. Plenty of smiles amongst that battery, but there's got to be some concern too, as Temples continues to give it everything she's got. Misimore digs in.
The designated player, Marissa Misimore.
Johnson ready to run the pitch. Flown towards right, medium depth, and the catch is made. Clary gloves it, and Johnson back to first, and a big sigh of relief for the moment for Temples. Hernandez, the hitter. Came in batting .260 and is 1 for 2 in this game.
Number 17, Hope Hernandez.
Temples' his first pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Hernandez is out, was allowed 1-2.
Correct. Not the top of the 7th. We'll do in the bottom of the 7th. If we make it there.
The 1-0 pitch. Looped out to short. Backing up is Schubert, and she'll get behind it to make the grab, and there's 2 away. So Hernandez pops out, and it's left to Abby Thomas here in the 6th.
The catcher, number 25, Abby Ahmed.
Now, an interesting call here, whether you send Johnson at some point. Has pretty good speed. She has only 1 stolen base, though, this season. First pitch is high, ball 1. Now, the risk you run there is if she gets thrown out, you've got the bottom third of the order coming up next inning. And even if Thomas gets out here, at the very least, you guarantee Nini Rowe comes to the plate in the 7th. Coach DeRo's coming over to have a chat now. And Temples continues to play with that index finger on her left pitching hand. She gives a thumbs up to the bench. Continues to prepare for the pitch. Very animated, Miss Temples. Here's the 1-0. Popped foul on the right side, 1-1. 80 pitches now for Temples. Eagles trying to jump in front in the 6th. They got a leadoff single from Bauman, but have been unable to move the runner. 2 outs now, and Temples ready to deal to Thomas. The pitch. Lifted out to left, shallow for Jackson. It's actually going to be the shortstop Schubert in shallow left center. Eagles go quietly in the 6th after the leadoff base hit. We head to the 7th and the final scheduled inning. No score here in Game 2. Seventh inning in Game 2 of the ASUN Southern Division Series. Sarah Lawton is through 6 scoreless, as is Chloe Temples. Stetson has 3, 4, and 5 in their order due up. The Eagles will have 8, 9, and 1 in the bottom half. First pitch, low from Lawton to Riley Russell. Russell, Schubert, Steiniger due up. Stetson only has 1 hit. FGCU has 5. But tied right now. The 1-0. Down and away. And now Russell out in front. Russell has 4 walks already in this doubleheader. And there's a strike. Lawton pounds the bottom of the zone. Again, spent 2 years at Florida Southwestern down the road here in Fort Myers. Now in her 2nd year with the Eagles. Had an ERA in the low 1s over 2 seasons at the JUCO level and ERA in the low 2s as a D1 pitcher. That one's up and in. Russell pulled the bunt back pretty late, but gets the call, 3-1. By the way, Casey Huber has come in to play defense at first, and you know what that means. Taylor Bauman is warming up to pitch. She was the first baseman, but will be loose if Coach DeRose needs her. Fastball in for a strike, and it's full. Schubert, Steininger waiting, hoping for a chance to give Stetson their first lead since early in game 1. Payoff pitch coming. Chopped to short. Davenport waits for it. Fires the first in time. Already Davenport has been perfect so far at shortstop. Has had to make a couple of plays to the glove side and has thrown out everyone. Second time she's gotten Russell. And that's the first out with Schubert due up next.
Number 23, the shortstop, Lizzie Schubert.
Schubert, a flyout and a strikeout so far. Their top power threat. Drove in 2 in the first game. That one just missed a hair inside, ball 1. Lawton now up over 90 innings for the season. Will have a decent chance to get over 100 if the Eagles can get to next weekend. The 1-0 is a strike at the top of the zone, 1-1. The pitch. Just missed inside, ball 2. Sarah's pitch. Hammer deep to right field, cutting over. And Hayes, and did she make the catch? A foul ball, 2-2. Can't see that right field corner from our perspective. But Schubert coming back to the plate. So good effort by Hayes, but just a little too far for her. And now it's 2-2. Another good one here between Stetson and the Eagles. FGCU has prevailed in all 7 meetings this year, but again, most of them have been just like this. The 2-2. Rolled towards third. Weird hop off of Estroff, and Schubert will reach. You can see right off the bat that ball had some weird spin on it as it took a right-hand turn, and Estroff had to play it off her left knee and got the glove on it, but it popped up in the air, and she lost any chance she had to get Schubert. So it's an E5. And the go-ahead run is on with 1 out for Steininger.
Number 6, Nikki Steininger.
Lawton has just continued to roll ground ball after ground ball. As that one misses low. 4 consecutive ground balls between the 6th and the 7th. She has allowed only 1 out in the air since the 2nd inning. 1-0 is outside. Lawton getting ready for her 90th offering of the night. Pretty efficient, the pitch. A strike at the top of the strike zone. Coach Griffin hoping for a rally for his Hatters. This one chopped to the middle. Davenport backs up for it. Flips the second just in time as Hernandez touches the base. Not thrilled by the slide of Schubert, and there's 2 away. Davenport made an interesting decision to wait for the long hop there. If she had come and gotten it, maybe she would have been able to turn 2, but it's a fielder's choice, 6-4. And with 2 outs, Steiniger is at first, and Diaz is the hitter. This one chopped towards short. Davenport goes to second with it, and the inning is over. Sarah Lawton is through 7 scoreless innings. FGCU will try and walk off to next weekend when we come back. It's been a gutsy postseason effort so far for Chloe Temples, keeping her Stetson Hatters season alive, but facing more pressure now than she has all night. 0-0, bottom 7. Estroff leads it off for FGCU. Eagles won game 1, so they are a run away from advancing to the Final Four in the A-Sun. Left-on-left matchup, it'll be Estroff, Hayes, and Rowe. Temples fires, and it's foul back, 0-1. FGCU with 5 hits. Stetson has 1. You see Temples limping around. Steiniger gives her a little push back to the circle. Estroff, a .329 hitter entering this game. 1 for 2 to get that average up over .330. .0-1. Lifted deep down the line. That's going to go foul, out of play. Strike 2. Who's going to be the hero tonight? Someone's got to score. We're told there's no international runner on second rule in extra innings in the A-Sun tournament, so that could prolong this one. Eagles want to end it right here, though. Temples has gotten ahead. interested in talking to Gilman than issuing the 0-2 pitch. The pitch. Line deep down the left field line. It goes foul, and the catch is not made by Jackson. Great effort. But it is a foul ball. That ball hooked at the very ends to kick foul. Ready again on another 0-2. And it's high. Good take by Estroff. Again, it's Hayes on deck. It would be her first at-bat of the game. Came off the bench for the 28th time this season in the previous inning. The pitch. Slashed foul again. Estroff stays alive. Temple's, again, coming in with a 3.61 ERA, but that 4-13 record. It's just another night with not a whole lot of run support, but trying to make it hold up. Program season hanging in the balance. The 1-2, chopped foul. Estroff continuing to battle. One of those at-bats that can really set the tone in the inning. Temples winds and delivers. High, and Estroff keeps that bat back, and it's 2-2. Hayes getting a nice long look at Temples in that on-deck circle. Pitch number 8 of the at-bat here. Lifted to left. Jackson's going to have room, and she makes the catch for out number 1. Jackson kept shading closer and closer to that left field line, and it paid off as Estroff flies out for the first out of the home 7th. And so Hayes will be taken out of the game. This will be the 4th player out of the 9-hole for FGCU. As Steiniger just can't help herself, has to go to the mound again. Riley Topliff will be the pinch hitter. Topliff 3 for 18 this year with an RBI and 2 walks.
Pinch hitting for the Eagles, number 18, Riley Topliff.
Temples reaches down, drawn in the dirt. And will eventually pitch to Topliff. First one. A little bit high, ball 1. Nene Rowe on deck. She could be a spark plug if somebody gets on. Batterton, one of their top hitters after that. Topliff, a freshman from right here in Fort Myers. The pitch. Fouled back, a good cut, and it's 1-1. Temples delivers, and it's down and away, ball 2. So Topliff now leading in the count. Two-one pitch coming. Popped up on the infield. Third baseman is there, and the catch is made. Diaz tripped on the rubber there, but hung with it to make the grab, and there's 2 down for Rowe. Lawton and Temples have matched 0 for 0 all night long.
And center fielder, number 6, Nene Rowe.
Temples trying to put up a 7-0 to match the number on her jersey. First pitch to Rowe is bunted in front of the circle. Temples has to spin and throw, and no chance. Rowe beats it out, and the winning run is on. Even with 2 outs, and I always tell you, in the postseason, a base runner is a rally. And Rowe will probably take off for second at some point soon. A league best 30 stolen bases for Nene Rowe, who is aboard at first for a .333 hitter in McKenna Batterton. Batterton 0 for 2 is hit by a pitch in the third. There goes Rowe. The throw on the money. The tag is not in time. Rowe gets around the Schubert tag, and the winning run is in scoring position for FGCU. Second steal of the day for Rowe, and she's up to 31. Batterton knows a base hit here could send her team out on a high note. And we're going to get another visit, this time from the assistant coach. And so Stetson, with their season very much in jeopardy, will bring the entire group together and try and rally the troops. Rowe is asking her bench to be as loud as possible here. What has been a very entertaining doubleheader tonight from Fort Myers. That was a higher energy message there to Chloe Temples in the infield. Knowing that this campaign is hanging in the balance. Temples has been so good. But it could all go for naught if Batterton comes through here. Not only did Rowe steal the bag, it was called a ball. So Batterton in a 1-0 count. Outfield comes in a little bit. This is a no singles scenario. If you're on the infield, you're deep and on your belly on any grounder. The 1-0. Slashed back to the screen. Good cut by McKenna, 1-1. These teams have had to battle through the virus all year long. They haven't played as many games as they're accustomed to. But for FGCU, this is game number 45. Temple's a 1-1. Lifted towards third, in play. Diaz is there, and the inning is over. Chloe Temples forces extra innings in game 2 of the series. We'll head to the 8th. No score in game 2. 8th inning from the campus of FGCU. Still no score. Bottom third of Coach Griffin's order coming up. Sarah Lawton back to work as Riley Topliff stays in the game in right field for FGCU. There's a comebacker. Easy play for Lawton. 1 down. Baxter quickly retired. And Beaton, who re-entered earlier, has to hit with nobody on. Only 93 pitches tonight for Lawton, and already with an out in the 8th inning. Lawton has been marvelous. 7 1/3, 1 hit. As Beaton chops one to the left side, Estroff bobbles it, and Beaton will reach. That'll be a fielding error on Estroff, her 2nd error in as many innings. And the go-ahead run is on for Stetson. Gilman, the hitter. She is the only player for Stetson with a base hit against Lawton tonight.
Playing second base, number 12, Alyssa Gilman.
Gilman trying to set the table for the top of the order. There's a bunt. Estroff fields, goes to first with it. Good throw. Sacrifice 5-3, advancing Beaton to second. And it's all left to Brianna Clary, excuse me.
Hatters leadoff hitter and right fielder number 10, Brianna Clary.
Clary 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a strikeout. And the outfield has come in here as Clary scolds one foul, strike 1. Lawton now up to 95 innings for the season. That century mark is definitely a milestone for any college pitcher. 0-1. High for a ball. Stetson trying to force a rubber game. 1-1. Fouled off, strike 2. Lawton trying to finish off the top of the 8th. 2 strikes, 2 outs, but the go-ahead run at second. The 1-2. Up and away. Good take by Clary. Lawton again. Pulled on the ground to first. Huber has it and steps on the bag to end the inning. Lawton holds serve in the top of the 8th. Eagles look to walk it off again after this. No score as we head to the bottom of the 8th. FGCU trying to end their weekend right here. They won the first game They need this one to avoid coming back to the diamond tomorrow. No score, bottom of the 8th. Chloe Temples back to work for Stetson.
Leading off the bottom of the 8th.
Temples has dealt with a lot more traffic on the bases than Lawton has. She's given up 6 hits, has walked 1 and hit a batter. And if you're FGCU, I don't know if you could pick a better trio than these 3 right here. Davenport, Bauman, and Meeseymore. First pitch to the shortstop is inside for a ball. Davenport's been locked in all night, both on offense and defense. Junior from St. John's, Florida, leading it off. The 1-0. Evens it up with an off-speed pitch. Technically, Huber is in the 4-hole, but Bauman is in the on-deck circle. She'll re-enter. Here's the 1-1. Popped up a mile-high foul ground, left field side, long run, and the catch is not made. Oh, Schubert got a glove on it, but running full speed could not haul it in, and Davenport gets second life. 1-2 now the count. We have crossed the 10 o'clock hour here in Fort Myers. The 1-2. Off-speed pitch, rolled out to short. Schubert charges, hurries the throw, and got her. Well done by Schubert to nip Davenport for the first down. That brings up Bauman, who re-enters after warming up in the bullpen. She is available if Lawton needs any help.
Re-entering game number 42, Taylor Bauman.
Yeah. So, yeah, she went in. Yeah, Huber went in for her.
So Bauman here, and then it's actually Casey Huber on deck, not Meeseymore. When Huber came in for defense, it was for Meeseymore, not Bauman. One out, nobody on, and that one misses away. Taylor lined a single up the middle against Temples in the 6th. That was to start the inning, but the Eagles could do nothing with it. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a high heater. 1-1. Temples comes home, and that one is outside. Good take by Bauman. 2-1. Eagles nothing, Stetson nothing. We're in the 8th. The 2-1 drops in for strike 2. Pulled the string, and Bauman froze. Nail-biting stuff here in Fort Myers. The pitch. Popped up, right side. Gilman and Beaton together. It's going to be Beaton to stagger and make the catch in the first base coaching box, and there's 2 down. So now Huber will bat for the first time in this game. 5 for 24 this year.
Playing first base, number 9, Casey Huber.
So Meeseymore finishes 0 for 2 with a walk, and Huber gets her first at bat of the postseason. A lefty facing a lefty. And swings through that pitch. Strike one. Temples has gritted through 7 2/3 with only 2 strikeouts. So her defense has done the job. They've committed just 1 error. 0-1. Inside, Temples wanted it. One pitch. Fouled back, strike 2. We've gotten 5 hours of quality softball here on a Friday night between a couple of A-Sun rivals playing for the 8th time against each other this season. Huber hanging in there. Temples trying to put away the inning. And that one sails up and away. Two. Swing and a miss. Huber way out in front, and Temples has her 3rd strikeout. We will go to the 9th. Still no score here in Fort Myers.
For the Hatters, their left fielder, number 2, Elizabeth Jackson.
2, 3, and 4 coming up in the Hatters order in the 9th inning. Again, normally you would have a runner on second to start extras, but not in the postseason. There's a bunt. Lawton all over it and makes the throw in time. Jackson can fly, and Lawton had to hurry, and she got it there in time. So now Russell, the batter, with both pitchers now up over 100 pitches. FGCU has not been to the NCAA tournament since 2012. That was their only appearance. Stetson was last there in 2014. They've been in the NCAA tournament twice. The other appearance was 2007. That one is on the corner for a strike, so you can say both programs are due. These two coaches know each other well. They've met countless times over the last decade plus. The 0-1 is low for a ball. Stetson's been around since 1883. Just over 3,000 students, so much smaller than FGCU. 1-1. Fouled off, strike two. Both these coaches with winning percentages in the neighborhood of 600. 1-2. Back to the circle, and there is Lawton. Flips it to Hubert, 2 down. Couple of comebackers handled by Sarah Lawton. And now we'll deal with Schubert.
The shortstop, number 23, Lizzie Schubert.
Off-speed pitch taken for strike one. The pitch just missed inside, and it's 1-1. Got to wonder what it's going to take for either coach to potentially take out either Lawton or Temples. They have gone 0 for 0 and have shown no signs of slowing down. But both of them now into the 9th inning, the 1-1. Line to left, coming in is Batterton, and the inning is over. A 1-2-3, top of the 9th. Sarah Lawton has gone 9 innings, allowing just 1 hit. Eagles come to bat again, trying to walk it off. Still no score as we head to the bottom of the 9th.
Hope Hernandez.
6, 7, and 8 here for FGCU. We have gone 8.5 innings without a run. Chloe Temples pitching against Hernandez. Nope, low, ball 1. Abby Thomas, due up next, the catcher, and then Estroff. Both teams on their 4th trip through the batting order. The pitching has been terrific. That one skips away, ball 2. Who's going to blink first, Lawton or Temples? And like we said earlier, what would it take for one of them to come out in favor of a reliever? We're pretty sure that Taylor Bauman is loose if needed for FGCU, but Lawton has shown absolutely no signs of slowing down. And Temples, we've noticed, has had a couple of different injuries she has pitched through in this game, including a fingernail issue. 2-0. Popped up right side, beaten over, not going to have room. 2-1. Sophomore ready, facing the senior Hernandez. The 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3. Get on base any way you can here if you're Hernandez. You can be very selective on this pitch. Neither team has had a base runner in their last inning. Trying to change that is Hernandez, the pitch. Caught the very bottom of the zone, a full count. Both pitchers have really been able to keep the softball down in the zone, especially in the later innings. Outfield pretty deep here for the Hatters. The 3-2. Flown to right, Clary comes in and makes the grab, 1 away. And again, Temple's living right at the knees. Not a whole lot Hernandez could do with that pitch, and now Thomas comes to the plate.
The catcher, number 25, Abby Thomas.
First pitch to the FGCU catcher. Popped up right side. Beaton is there and she makes the catch next to the bag for the second out. Almost feels like the FGCU hitter is trying to do a little too much with Estroff now coming up. Coach DeRose digging into the pocket for the scorecard and will make a change. So Estroff will be lifted for Jordan Gendron. Well, we haven't seen yet today. Well, Gendron's got some power, and with 2 outs and nobody on, trying to call upon that power.
Pinch hitting for the Eagles, number 44, Jordan Gendron.
This will probably be a one-and-done appearance for Gendron. I don't believe can play third base, and she's pinch hitting for Estroff. Or maybe she can. Strike 1. Temples pounds it in there. Gendron taking all the way. Top lift on deck. Bottom of the Eagles order here. The pitch. Runs outside. Good take by Gendron. One down and away, ball 2. As Temples continues to live at the very bottom of the zone here in the later innings. Two one. Swing and a miss. Big cut there from Gendron, but it's 2-2. The left-hander ready. The pitch home. Fouled back. Gendron stays alive against that pitch. Temple's up to 123 pitches here in the ninth. And I don't think we're going to see anybody else in that circle for Stetson. And the only other pitcher on the stat sheet that hasn't pitched deep into the game is Lauren Hobbs, number 21. The 2-2. Line towards the gap, a base hit, rolling towards the alley. Gendron makes the turn and will put on the brakes as Jackson gets there quickly. So after at least 8 outs in a row, Gendron delivers a base hit, number 7 for FGCU. I think Coach DeRose, even with his large roster, may be running out of players, but nope, not yet. No, Estroff is going to re-enter. So Estroff will come in to run for Gendron, so you don't have to burn anybody here. But Gendron comes through with a pinch hit single.
Running at first base for the Eagles, number 22, Emily Estroff.
Estroff does not have a stolen base this year, as Top Lift comes to the plate. Stetson coaching staff has come out. And they haven't made many moves at all in this doubleheader. They have a much smaller roster than FGCU.
Now batting number 18, the right fielder, Riley Chotlet.
So finally we've got a base runner, FGCU, with Estroff now at first. Top Lift the batter, popped out in her only at-bat tonight in the 7th. Down and away, ball 1. A walk would be very successful here. Rowe is up next, and of course it would push the winning run into scoring position. Again, Estroff hasn't stolen a base. She does have good speed, but probably won't be running here. Top Lift trying to move her around the bases. 1-0. Strike 1. Good pitch from Temples. Here comes the 1-1 to Top Lift. At the bottom of the zone, strike 2. That's been a good spot for Temples the last couple of innings against the righties. Down and away. Temples trying to force a 10th. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled off. Top Lift able to stay alive. FGCU has left 8 runners on base in this game. Another 1-2. Outside, and Top Lift has pushed it to 2-2. The lefty delivers, and it's on the corner. Strike 3 called. Temples is through 9 scoreless innings. We will head to the 10th. Stetson 0, FGCU 0. A third extra inning coming your way next. Oh, we hope you enjoyed this ball game from FGCU. If you're into pitching, this one's for you. 0-0, top of the 10th. Lawton and Temples have not blinked.
Number 6.
Look, Nikki Steiniger set to lead it off. Coach Griffin has used only one bench player in each of the 2 games of this doubleheader, Nia Morgan in both games. So there's really not many moves for him to make, it seems, as the first pitch is in for a strike from Lawton, who has been sharp from the get-go. Well, it sounds like a lot when you use a triple-digit number in pitch count, but through 9 innings, 108 pitches is pretty good. That one's low for ball 1. Steiniger 0 for 3. Same with Diaz on deck. Same for Baxter, who's due up after that. As that one's rolled foul up the first base side, 1-2. The only hit that Lawton has given up was in the 6th inning to Gilman. A couple of errors have made it interesting in extra innings, but Lawton has persevered. And now asks for a new softball and gets one. One and two to the leadoff hitter, Steiniger. The pitch. Chucked her swing on a high one, and it's 2-2. Lawton has not had a strikeout since the 5th inning. She had 6 Ks through 5 and has had none since. 2-2. Just missed low, and now it's full. In that span, however, from innings 6 through 10, only 1 ball has been hit in the air against her. Everything else has been on the ground. Full count on Steiniger. The pitch. Flown foul. That probably would have been ball 4, but the at-bat continues. There are a whole lot of zeros on the line score tonight. Right back to Lawton. She snares it on a bounce, and the throw is true. She has fielded her position flawlessly all night. And the batter will be Danielle Diaz.
Playing third base, number 19, Danielle Diaz.
Lawton fires, and this one skied out to left center. Rowe comes in and makes the grab. So that's a rare out in the air. Diaz got under it, and there's 2 away here in the top of the 10th. These 2 teams played a 10-inning game a couple of years ago in 2019. That was the last extra inning game between Stetson and FGCU. And Stetson won that game 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on for Baxter. And Baxter takes low for ball 1. FGCU played an 11-inning game earlier this season against UConn. That was a highly entertaining game, and FGCU won on a walk-off in 11. And that was with the international runner rule at second. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That was part of one of FGCU's tournaments that they hosted early in the season. And UConn had a bunch of close games that weekend. And FGCU played really well. I think they went 3-1 that weekend. Here's the pitch. Just missed low, 2-1. By the way, Thomas and Steiniger have caught this entire doubleheader. So they are up to 16 plus innings behind the plate tonight. And well over 250 pitches caught each. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good high one there from Lawton. And Baxter couldn't find it. And now she's one pitch away from putting up another goose egg. Here's the pitch. Line towards right center. That's going to land in for a base hit. Toplift couldn't get there. And Stetson has just their second hit of the night. A 2-out single from Baxter.
Playing first base, number 16, Catherine Beaton.
So that makes Stetson 2 for 32 in this game against Lawton. Beaton at the plate. Beaton takes outside, ball 1. Next pitch. Rolled weakly, and Lawton gets down to get it. Feathery touch from Sarah Lawton, reaching down on a slow roller to second. And she makes the play to put up another 0. We head to the bottom of the 10th. FGCU back to bat after this.
Leading off the bottom of the 10th for the Eagles, their leadoff hitter and center fielder, number 6, Nene Rowe.
Bottom of the 10th and the top of the order is up for FGCU. No score. Chloe Temples against Nene Rowe. First pitch down, ball 1. Batterton next, then Davenport, and Bauman cleanup if anybody reaches. Stetson now up to 2 hits. FGCU has 7. And Rowe has 1 of them. It was in her last at-bat in the 7th. 1 for 4 overall. The pitch. Bunted in the air, and the catch is made. Diving play by Danielle Diaz to take a hit away from Nene Rowe. If that one landed in, it would have certainly been a base hit. The spin would have probably taken it foul, but I think Diaz would have touched it in fair territory. That's a big play by Diaz.
The left fielder, number 88, McKenna Batterton.
So Batterton with 1 out and nobody on. First pitch, low, ball 1. Batterton searching for her first hit in this game. 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. That one's fouled back, 1-1. Umpire heading out there to take a look at the ball with the pitcher, Temples. Not sure what this is about. And she's been battling a nail injury. I don't know if you want to call it an injury, a fingernail problem. They had to bring out some help earlier for her fingernail. 1-1 on Batterton. That one sails up and away, 2-1. Temples comes forward, and Batterton slashes it foul late on that pitch, 2-2. FGCU has used 16 players in this game. Stetson, only 10. Two coming. Rolled towards the middle. Great play by Schubert. The throw is not in time. Batterton beats it out, and FGCU has the potential winning run on base. Great effort by Schubert, who had to go a long way for that ball, ranging up the middle. Made an accurate throw as well, but Batterton beats it out. And so Davenport comes up with 1 out. And Batterton at first. Imagine if Diaz did not make that catch on row. We'd be looking at first and second, nobody out. And Davenport cranks one foul behind home. She has been taking some big cuts in this doubleheader, and one of them yielded a homer in game 1. 1 for 4 in this game. FGCU trying to break through against the lefty. Runner goes, fisted foul behind home, and it's a foul ball, strike 2. Batterton bluffed the go. Had a big initial lead and then put on the brakes. Good effort by Steiniger, but not enough hang time for her. Temples to Davenport. Rolled up the middle. Gilman flips. The Schubert throw is not in time. Fancy footwork by Gilman as she and Schubert came together pretty closely there. I thought Gilman was going to run into the bag herself, but decided to flip, and Schubert made a good throw, but Davenport runs too well. It's a 4-6 fielder's choice, and there's 2 outs now for Bauman. Temples has reached 140 pitches tonight. First one, a strike.
Number 42, Taylor Bauman.
Davenport has 3 stolen bases this year, so we'll see if she tries for one here. 0-1 pitch. Drilled towards right, and it's caught. Clary was in good position and reacted very well to that ball, picking off the liner from Bauman to retire the side. We will head to the 11th. Still no score.
There's second baseman, number 12, Alyssa Gilman.
9-1-2 coming up for Frank Griffin's team. Whether they win or lose, I think the hotel bed's going to feel real good tonight for the Hatters. First pitch is down and away for ball 1. Not nearly as many nights in hotels this year for these two teams compared to usual, with travel being limited. I don't know if either one of these teams left the state of Florida. Of course, there's plenty of teams to play down here, and the teams from up north come down to Florida to play. That one's high for ball 2. Sarah Lawton back out for the 11th inning. Scoreboard only has room for 10, so it's all those zeros have disappeared. Lawton trying to keep this game tied. We'll face 4 lefties here. That one catches the corner for a strike. So the Hatters know they're going to the hotel after this one. What they don't know is where they're going to be headed when they get on the bus tomorrow. DeLand or right here. This one's rolled to the hole. Nice play by Huber. Runs it to the bag in time. Huber has done a great job at first base since coming in off the bench. And that's the first out of the 11th. Clary coming up.
Playing right field, number 10, Brianna Clary.
First pitch, bunted. There's that one-handed bunt again, and that one goes foul. I don't know where she learned that, but it's the second time she's done it tonight. And the last time she did it, the ball went in play. And that one's up high for ball 1. The pitch in the dirt. Ball 2. Clary keeps both hands on the bat that time. Stetson starting their 5th trip through the batting order. FGCU did that in the 10th inning. Lawton continuing. Swing and a miss on a high one, 2-2. Jackson due up next, and then Russell should anybody reach. FGCU will have 5, 6, and 7 in their order in the bottom of the inning. 2-2. Fouled off, left side. I wonder if Coach DeRose's fingers are getting tired. He's throwing up 4 or 5 different signs on every pitch. And Lawton is over 130 pitches now as well. And this is also the second game of the night. Two from Lawton. Chopper back to the circle. Throw to first. 2 down. That's the 6th assist by Lawton in the last 3 innings.
The left fielder, number 2, Elizabeth Jackson.
So Jackson, the hitter, with the bases empty. The pitch. Fouled back, 0-1. Jackson with 3 ground outs and a line out in this game, 0 for 4. She is one of 5 Hatters who have gone 0 for 4 against Lawton. The pitch. Inside for a ball. The pitch. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and the pitch misses outside, 2-1. Lawton winds and delivers, and the off-speed pitch levels up the count, 2-2. The pitch is sliced foul into the Eagles' dugout, and so it continues. Jackson trying to get Russell to the plate however she can. This one's bounced off her foot, I thought. Estroff jumps all over it and makes the play. I thought that hit the front toe of Jackson, but she grounds out, and that'll do it for Stetson in the 11th. 3 more ground ball outs for Sarah Lawton. FGCU to the plate in the bottom of the 11th when we return. Marissa Misi-Moore has re-entered to hit here in the bottom of the 11th. Casey Huber got a couple at-bats and played an excellent first base. But Misi-Moore has returned. Chloe Temple's out for the 11th. She has 10 scoreless already under her belt. That one dives down and away. Lawton and Temples have traded zeros since before 8 o'clock tonight. We're closing in on 11. Misi-Moore started. Went 0 for 2 with a walk. The 1-0. Strike one. Hernandez next, then Thomas. We'll see who breaks through in this game. One pitch. On the outside corner, strike two. Temples has the sign. 1-2 to Misi-Moore. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Misi-Moore was the winning pitcher in game 1. Tossed a complete game, allowed 2 runs, and the Eagles won 5-2. That game was tied after 5 innings. This game has been tied in every single inning. 2-2 is crushed foul. That had Final Four written all over it, but it ended up on the baseball field instead. Temples may not want to throw that one again. Off-speed pitch left over the middle. Two-two pitch coming from the southpaw, and now she steps off. Temples fires. Oh, strike 3. It gets away, though. Steininger makes the throw, and it's not in time. Misi-Moore reaches after striking out on a pitch over her head. So whatever works. Coach DeRose trying to figure out who he has left on the bench. And he still has a Maya Gaynor, who was one of the first players off the bench in game 1. So Gaynor will pinch run for Misi-Moore, who strikes out but reaches first. I mean, if we could pick an appropriate way for this game to end, it would be that the winning run scores after a drop third strike. So Gaynor, the potential winning run at first with nobody out. You saw there Temple's completely hunched over for a while. She's been trying to stretch out her back all night. She's limped around with that knee brace on the left knee. She's got some sort of sleeve on the pitching arm, and she just seems like she's gritting it out tonight, and has not just gritted it out, but put up 10 straight zeros against FGCU. So Gaynor at first is the winning run. Hope Hernandez is the batter. First pitch, she bunts. First base side, it rolls foul. Smart play by Beaton to let it go. This would set things up for Thomas and then Estroff. Temples in 0-1. There's the bunt. And that one's going to roll foul. Another good decision by Beaton, who was charging even harder on that one and let it roll right by her. She saw the spin that it was going to kick foul, and now it's 0-2. So now what do you do if you're Coach Deros? I think you got to let her hit away. Hernandez is one of the better hitters on the team. And you've got the bottom third of the order after this. Hernandez set to swing and pops it up foul right side. That's out of play. Steininger over for a look, but the chance continues for Hope. Eagles have 8 of the 10 hits in this game, but they have not scored. Gainer is all set to run at first if a ball is squared up. Temples delivers. Oh, reached for and tapped foul on the left side. That ball was going to bounce in the other batter's box. Hernandez chased it, but somehow got a piece of it. Temples comes home. Slashed over first, a base hit rolling down the line. Gainer makes the turn. She's headed for third. She will stop there. Hope Hernandez delivers an opposite field double. And FGCU has the winning run 60 feet away with nobody out. Hernandez threw the bat head at it and slashed it past Beaton at first. And Abby Thomas has the opportunity of her season. It's Thomas and then Gendron to determine this game and maybe the series. Eagles won the first one 5-2.
The catcher, number 25, Abby Thomas.
This game has hit the 3-hour mark, and we've yet to see a run. Gainer, 60 feet away. Temples, the pitch. Just missed down and away. You can be as careful as you want with Thomas with first base open. That would set up the force. Temples has not wavered all night, but is in the toughest spot she has been in 11 innings. 1-0 to Thomas. Line to deep left field, and FGCU is headed to the A-Sun Final Four. A walk-off base hit to the fence and left from Abby Thomas, and the Eagles mob their catcher. The Stetson season comes to an end after an 11-inning thriller after 11 o'clock at night here in Fort Myers. Big swing from Thomas. That was one of the hardest hit balls we have seen all day long. Did not miss it. And you can see the distraught Stetson Hatters. For the seniors, this is likely their final softball game. And the emotions of the postseason come to fruition here at the FGCU softball complex. The Eagles are moving on. A sweep of the Stetson Hatters in the divisional playoffs. And so FGCU will be in the Final Four next weekend at Kennesaw State. So the Owls and the Eagles, the first teams to advance to next weekend. The other two series will see a decisive third game, UNF and Jacksonville in the south, Liberty and Lipscomb in the north. So 2 games tomorrow is the final count, as FGCU and Stetson will have Saturday off. Big swing by Thomas after the double down the line by Hope Hernandez, and FGCU breaks through in a huge way in the bottom of the 11th. Stetson finishes their season 8-26, and we certainly wish the best for all of their players, especially the seniors who may have wrapped up their career tonight. They were a little short-handed this year with their roster. They did everything they could to be competitive, and they were much better than their record shows, as FGCU tonight improves to 28-17. Well, we thank you for tuning in. 6 hours of high-stress softball here in the postseason in the ASUN playoffs, and the Eagles prove victorious in both games, 5-2 and 1-0. They win the season series 8-0 over Stetson, and they can breathe a sigh of relief after this one went 11. Well, this will be our final softball broadcast of the year. The only broadcast we have left for you in this school year is the baseball playoffs in 2 weeks. The baseball team at FGCU hasn't guaranteed themselves home games in 2 weekends, but certainly a good chance that they will get him as long as they get some wins here in the final weekend of the regular season. But that's about it. We have come to the end of the softball campaign in terms of home games. FGCU will be at Kennesaw State for the Final Four next weekend. If they can prevail there, they'll be on to just their second Division I NCAA tournament in program history. Coach DeRosa's team now 11 games over 500 and will head to Georgia in 5 days. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Once again, your final score in Game 2 of the ASUN quarterfinals. The Eagles 1 and the Hatters 0 in 11. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Eagles will be in Kennesaw next weekend.